So here's the thing. When you think about your book description, there's different people think of different things when you say book description. To some people, the book description is what goes on the page for Amazon. It's what 4,000 characters or 4,400 characters or
Yeah, it's a big,
4,163, whatever the exact character count that you get is. I think it's 4,000, but I
big
don't know.
deal.
Um, some people think that's your description. Some people say, okay, the book description is what goes on the back. So first you got to be specific is what's the description that I'm trying to do.
And
And
I'm gonna mute myself because I'm gonna share. No, seriously, I'm gonna share this a bunch of places because I don't know if Erica's checking.
okay.
So,
So the thing you got to do is when we say book description, you got to stop saying book description and you got to think sales copy. And so if anything, this is a little mini sales letter. And if you look at and also over on Amazon, it's a mini sales letter if you actually want to sell some books. So what kind of things are in a sales letter? Well, you have a headline, you have a hook. So like on the back of my book, what if you could sell anything to anyone? I mean, your hook can be a question, it can be a headline. Often a hook is a headline. And then you basically have an introductory couple of paragraphs where you're telling a story or you're opening up the thoughts of people as to what this is all about. And then typically you're going to have some bullets, couple, 3, 4 bullets, things to get people curious about what's actually inside your book. Then you typically are going to have a call to action and you're going to have some sort of a summary statement. And then a lot of times there's like a one sentence about you as the author. And a lot of times, and I didn't have time for it because I didn't have time. I didn't have room for it because I had all this copy. And you might say, well, Jim, you didn't put your picture in this corner right here where everybody puts theirs. But if you look in the background, oh, I'm the entire back cover. Ooh. So if you think about it, it's pieces. Yet everybody's books are so different, just like personalities and fingerprints, that if we had a single wizard that was like, okay, this is how you do a description, this is the only way to do a description, then people would be trying to jam a round peg into a square hole or a square peg into a round hole, which sounds painful. And so the way to look at it is in parts, not in a specific, this is, this you have. That's why if there was a specific way of doing it, Amazon, when you listed your book, would have in their wizard, and it is a wizard when you publish your book on Amazon. It's a 3-page wizard last time I checked, where they gather all the information from you, you fill in blanks, you whack a button and it takes you to the next, you fill out the blanks, you whack the button, then you agree and say you can own my whatever. And so that's the big thing to understand is that when we're talking about your description, you need to look at it as a sum of a whole bunch of individual parts, like building blocks. Perhaps we could use this, and then we can go over to Author Wizards, and I can show you the single most important building block of all, quite frankly. Okay,
I love where you're going.
If we think about this, another way to look at it, if I had this turned around the right way, and please do feel free to chime in. I get going down on these tangents and stuff.
I think I like where you're headed though. Really you can break down an entire book into sections. This is what people forget is like, oh, it's so complex, but a book can be broken down into steps too. So Jim, I think the people are going to love this today. Book description broken down into blocks.
Sure. And it really comes down to, let's call it 5 blocks. Okay. As far as when I think of a book description, and I'm gonna
while you're drawing, let me share something.
This is I would call this drawing because this is not penmanship. But I'm ready. You go ahead, but I got my stuff.
Yeah, let me say this. I did try my book description. about, I think it started on Friday. It's a
Mhm.
big deal. I mean, book descriptions are a big deal. They tell Amazon what category to put you in. They're read forever. It's on your book. I mean, this is a big deal, folks. And I think because of that, Jim, I get true confession, I get a little nervous when the stakes are so high. You know what I'm saying? Like the stakes are high on the back of your book. You sold 30,000 of those puppies.
40,000 now.
Come on, man. Come on, man. You're killing us.
No, it's true. Between all the sales off my website and all the sales through Amazon and different channels and
I
stuff, it's
love it.
over
I love
40,000.
it. I love it. So the fact that that thing's going to be read, for sure, the back cover copy, at a minimum, people read the front cover, the back cover, and then they start diving into the text. The stakes are high. And so I think that the headline on the back cover is one of the most important things.
It's the most important thing, because if it's not, so I got my little thing. First thing you got to have is your hook headline.
Love
Because it's absolutely the most important thing. When somebody turns, if someone's in a bookstore, you imagine somebody, man, they're half jacked up on the lukewarm Starbucks that they just overpaid for at Barnes and Noble, and they're walking around there looking like, oh, that looks interesting. What is that? And they turn it over, and you've got about 6 seconds before they go, oh wow, and then they keep reading, or they go, and then they put it back. Tell me I'm wrong. I'm not.
No.
So the most important thing are those first words on the top of your book, on the top of that description. This one's interesting. This is a book I was telling everybody. This was written in the 50s. It's called How to Lie with Statistics. Everyone should read this. It's a thin book. It's amazing. But this one, interestingly enough, on the back, the hook is the title again, How to Lie with Statistics. So
Interesting.
I guess I would
Back
have done
in the
that.
day, that's what they did.
Absolutely. So, and just because everybody else is doing it doesn't mean it's right, especially in the publishing industry. People do things. It's kind of like railroad tracks. Railroad tracks are this wide because Roman chariots were that wide way back in the day. And they can show the reasoning behind ruts and roads and carriage makers and early stuff. I mean, a lot of this stuff is done because that's the way we've always done it. It's not because it's the best way of doing it.
Wow.
Have a great hook or headline, okay, at the top. Now, then there's got to be some sort of a story or intro. Now, I'm not talking about a story that's 5 or 10 or 15 paragraphs long, but you can tell a story in 2 sentences. I mean, if I read you, and there's a broad definition of story. The story can be about you. The story can be about the book. The story can be about your customer. The story can be about an ideal customer. The story can be about a situation. It's just designed to pull them in. So like, here's the first paragraph on the back of mine. Nobody is born knowing how to sell, but the truth is you can learn how to sell more, a lot more, when you discover the right words that make people buy.
Love it.
That's the start. That's like an intriguing thing.
That's a good one.
So you got to have a little story. Next, there's a bullet. There are bullets. Bullets create curiosity. So bullets can be literally in bulleted form, or they can just be quick sentences. But there's stuff to get people curious about what is in the book.
Yes.
Then there's a call to action. The call to action is not buy my book. It's, if you're ready to make yourself if you're ready to make your mind totally unhackable in an age where you're constantly bombarded in social media, TV, even on your smartphone, then this is the book you need to protect yourself and your family's future against being hacked. That's a call to action, not buy this book today. Wow, that's a good one. And then one thing that you can always do at the bottom, and usually there's like a little line. I don't know what they call that in print, but there's a line that kind of separates, okay, this is the thing. Then you have the one sentence about the author. You got to be able to tell people who you are, what you do, and who you help in one sentence that makes them go, holy cow, that person's got their act together. That sounds like somebody I need to pay attention to.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So it's like my sentence is, I help authors just like you go from blank screen to compelling content and money-making sales messages at the push of a button, no experience required. Or it can, and it could also say Jim Edwards,
Yeah.
Helps authors just like you. So what's your one sentence, Carrie?
Boom. You ready
When
for
it comes to this? Okay,
All
let's
right.
hear it.
Well,
Hit me.
this is my unique ability.
Okay.
So I ignite people and projects to action through creativity, collaboration, and clarity.
Okay. I mean, do you want me to be a good partner and just say that's amazing, or do you want me to give you any feedback on that?
Well, if you want my unique selling proposition,
Uh-huh.
the one that I had for years, I'm an author, coach, and speaker who helps people get clarity on who they are, their identity, why they're here, their purpose, and where they're going, their direction.
Okay. I actually like that one better. I would use a version of that if you were going to do that on the back cover. But that's just me,
Thank you.
and these are it's all opinions.
Let's have truth telling, man. See, April just said truth telling Jim. Jim,
But it's
I'll
all
tell you
opinions,
what.
dude.
Listen, we got 15 minutes. I'm tempted to give you. Should I give you my unhackable back cover copy and you rip it to shreds?
I don't know, or we could jump over on the Wizards and I could show you the different things that you could use to the parts to be able to assemble your copy if you want.
Probably should do that.
Well, but that'll only take me like a minute. Sure, give me your copy. Let's look at it. Come on. You gonna show it?
Can I?
Yeah. Hang on. Let me make you co-host.
All right. I will tell you that my team ripped it to shreds.
Cool.
So now I'm kind of sitting here. Guys, this is being vulnerable.
This is unscripted.
Is this being vulnerable?
I gotta comb my beard for this one.
Oh man. All right. Okay. I won't tell you what my team said because you'll agree with them. So hang on.
What if you knew the secret weapon of all super achievers?
Okay.
You gotta scroll. That's
a
little bit too, yeah.
Is that too big?
No, that's fine. I mean, okay, so the number one thing you always got to ask, and when we're talking about sales copy, the number one question is not what's the headline or what's the best thing. My question, so tell me in 2 minutes or less, who is the ideal customer who will buy this book? Who is the avatar for this?
I'm going to say the busy, overworked, overstressed entrepreneur.
Okay. So, and what do they want instead of being overworked and super stressed?
Instead of seeing their dream always get hacked, it keeps getting pushed further and further and further.
Okay, well that
distractions.
To me, okay, so you talk about what a hack is and stuff, but what if you knew the secret weapon of all super achievers? But it's like the secret weapon for what? The secret weapon for what is my question? It's like the secret weapon, but is this just another? Is this just? It's almost like this is not just another self-help book, or so you could do a two-part. This is not just another self-help book. This is the secret weapon of all super achievers, whether they know it or not. Something like that. So it's like, oh, okay, because this is a crowded field that you're going into.
Right.
So if you can tell them this is not the same as every other book. And it was spoken, and I created speech as the most universal responsible word pronounced, and lawyers need for translation as children want to speak as this and some. Dude, you've lost me. This first paragraph. I have no idea what that's.
That's what the team said. What if I start instead where
you gotta let me hang on, dude. Go back up, because oftentimes your good copy happens as you're further down the road. Okay. The truth is you're not doing your dream because you're getting hacked. The hack is when some of the honest actions, thanks to biology class, your body is made persistent versus brain fun. Eh,
Too heady.
it's not doing anything for me. This is like a science book. The
Okay.
scope of human knowledge doubles every trying. That's all the impending commands. Discover human. Nah, this is reading like a traditional book cover thing. Book reveals the answer in 30 daily minutes. It's going to create ideas and effective, finally utilize need, exponentially increase your impact on the world. So, okay. So, like with your bullets here, create ideas and implement them effectively so you can what?
Okay.
Why? I'm asking you just off top of your head. So you can what?
Create ideas and implement them effectively so you can enjoy the labors of your dream.
Enjoy the fruits of your labor without waiting a lifetime to get them.
I see what you're saying.
Okay, so all of these, it's like find and utilize. These are all features. Find and utilize the needed resources to accomplish your dream. So you can blank, which means blank. And the so you can blank and the which means blank is usually where the great compelling emotional benefit is that's where it's not, it's so you can blank, which means blank. It's also known as the benefit, feature, benefit, and benefit of the benefit. You need to do that with all of those things.
Okay.
Exponentially increase your impact on the world by becoming 500% more productive. That doesn't mean anything. I mean, you're trying to, but it just, what does 500% more productive mean? Why would I want to become 500% more effective? In a fast-paced world,
so you can enjoy freedom,
time with your family, freedom from what? Freedom from worry, freedom from want, freedom from financial, the ability to share your message with the world, all of the things that super achievers say they want to be able to do once they're done with the job at hand, and someday all the work treadmill would be over. Organize your life and life around flow, where you feel your best and do your best. I would try and have that, how to instantly get into, or how to quickly or immediately or instantly get into a flow state where you feel your best and do your best in business with your family and any other area, something like that. You got to do that. But all that stuff at the top,
science,
that ain't motivating anybody. That's like forward stuff in a boring book.
Okay.
What's the story? Start with a story of, there I was in 1997 and I saw it coming. I had, I don't know, I had 15 browser windows. I'm from Virginia. I had 15 browser windows open on the computer, and I had the Google. And I mean, I saw a statistic that blew my mind. Every 12 hours, that there's a
information doubles.
Yeah, every 12 hours, information doubles. There's another statistic that's really cool. The average person in medieval Europe, there is more information in a Sunday New York Times than the average, in a single edition of the New York Times, than the average person in 13th century Europe absorbed in their entire lifetime.
Wow.
And yet we as human beings are no different than we are from the 13th century or even the first century. We're no different. We're the exact same people, yet we're being forced to absorb, process, and synthesize huge and vast amounts of information, and we can't do it. And that's why we're so easily manipulated by the media, by politicians, and by other people, even well-meaning people, who want us to do what they want us to do instead of living our highest and best purpose. And that's why I wrote, Become Unhackable. It's going to show you how to protect your mind against the forces that are going to seek to literally hack your bio brain as if it were a computer under attack by a rogue state from around the world trying to steal your personal information. This is even more insidious because they're trying to infect your brain with ideas that will alter the course of your entire life. So if you'd like to know how to ba-bum, 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 then Be Unhackable is the most important book you'll ever read about personal freedom and personal protection, because it helps you protect the single most important asset you have, your mind. Something like that. That would be stronger because it's telling a story and it's making people,
That's hot.
So
I love it. Let's give Jim a hand, and I'm glad this was recorded, because guess who's going to listen to it again? Me.
I'm glad it's recorded on Facebook because I turned off the recording in Zoom.
It's recorded on Facebook. No, that was fantastic. So Jim, will Author Wizards do something like that?
Well, Author Wizards will help you with the pieces for doing it all. So if I could just show you real quick what I would do, and we had somebody in the help desk ask this question, and they said, what? No description wizard inside of Author Wizards? That's a travesty. And I remember when we created Author Wizards, I said, we and you asked me, why is there no description wizard? And I explained the reason why is just exactly what we talked about. So what I would tell you just real quick in a minute, you need to have a headline. We got tons of marketing headlines. I would use the killer headline wizard or the short headline wizard. I'd play around with those. Also the timeless classic proven headline wizard. I'd use all of them, and I'd find the one that was the best for what I was trying to do. Then I would point out that you should use the what I do in one sentence hook wizard, because that's going to help you to create that one sentence thing that tells exactly what you do and who you help and why it's a big deal. And then the next thing I would tell you to play with would be under the offers and web copy. I would use the Express sales letter wizard, because this is going to help you to come up with, it gives you the format for coming up with the bullets, coming up with the bullets that you're going to want to talk about, what people get in your book. But the thing to understand is that formula I gave you, okay, this is a formula. I teach this formula in my book. Okay. It's called FAB, feature, advantage, benefit. Okay. Or FBM is another one, feature, benefit, meaning. They both mean the same thing. Okay. But it's the feature is what it is. The benefit is the benefit of the feature. And then the meaning is the benefit of the benefit. It's why it matters. And the reason people buy is not the feature. The reason people buy is the benefit of the feature and what it means to them. Okay. So you don't need 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 bullets on your description either. You need 3 or 4 or 5 really solid, emotionally compelling bullets, and that's plenty.
Fantastic.
So that's how you craft a good description. It doesn't have to be 50 pages long. You can't put 50 pages on the back of the book. You got to get to it, son. Get to it.
A couple hundred words. That's it.
And it's not about, and remember this, it's not about you, it's about them. And before you start doing any of this, you better get real clear on who your avatar is. In fact, we have a wizard inside of here that will help you with that as well. If you use the 3-hour Kindle book wizard, that's going to help you to that will actually help you write sales copy as well. Even if you don't use the wizard to write the book,
right?
You choose one of the tracks that we have that's really close, and it will help you do your bio. It'll give you suggestions for bullets and stuff, and you can modify them from there too. So there's a lot of stuff in there to help you, but you got to put it together in pieces. Big thing you got to understand is that all this is an opinion. Me telling Kerry what he think or about his cover, it's just an opinion. Yeah. When you ask people, it's an opinion. When you fill out the wizards and you whack the button, you're like, man, it doesn't read quite right. Well, that's an opinion. So you go back up and you change something, you hit the button again, and you massage it till it reads. And your opinion is, that sounds pretty good. Mm-hmm. The only opinion that really, really, really matters, okay,
is the buyer.
Is the opinion of the person who's sitting there at the computer, okay, and they see your thing, and that either pull out their wallet, and no, I'm not going to flash my credit card. So like the the numbers are up there. I'm not that stupid. But they pull out their wallet and they pull out their credit card and they buy. That's the only opinion that matters. They either buy or they don't buy. And it's their opinion that you're trying to sway. Everything else is just data. It's just feedback. It does not, it's not attached to your self-worth. It's not attached to your net worth. It's just feedback, because unless I'm going to pay Carey for his book, my opinion about his cover copy really doesn't matter. He's asking for my opinion based on he's asking for feedback from me based on my experience. That's it. And that's all any of this is. But people, authors especially, you pour your heart and soul into your book.
Yep.
And then it's like, well, everybody should know that it's amazing. And I worked really hard on this, and I shouldn't have to be salesy with this because they should just see the value, darn it. And then they sell none because they don't want to sell.
Wow.
Don't let that be you. It's true, though.
It's true. Absolutely.
So
I'd rather learn now than in 6 months when the book's out.
Sure.
Oh, crud. So awesome job today, Jim.
Cool. You too. That was fun.
Awesome. All right, folks. Have a fantastic day. And if you want Author Wizards, the price is not going to remain low forever. Check it out.
All right. Everybody have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.